What's going on, everybody? The world's a better place because you're here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I'm the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And we have a very special Magic Mind sponsored show where we're all going to discuss the world of dating once and for all and ask the big question: what can men and women do better in dating? So, a nice panel with a mixture: two single men, two single women, and one married man to give his insight as well. And we will all discuss with 7 different questions on how men and women can do better in the world of dating. And we can air our grievances, be honest, and hopefully create a compromise for the entire male and female species, right? So we're all here today thanks to Magic Mind. And before we get into that, before we talk about the world of dating and I introduce the panel, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcast platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding this show across all social media platforms. We're on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X and Twitter at ProdConvoPod. We're on TikTok at Productive Conversations and Facebook at Productive Conversations. And as always, don't you forget that this show is brought to you by Magic Mind. Magic Mind, the world's first productivity shop. And if you're like me, juggling a million things at once: work, podcast, life, content, trying to date, and sometimes coffee just isn't enough, that's where Magic Mind comes in. It's packed with matcha, adaptogens, nootropics, and all natural ingredients that keep you focused, calm, and in the zone without the crash. I've been using it myself for a long time, and it's been a total game changer for staying sharp, especially on these long days of ours. And if you want to check out the great benefits of Magic Mind like I have, go to magicmind.com/PCJune for 48% of your first subscription or 20% of your first one-time purchase. That is magicmind.com/PCJune for 40% of your first subscription or 20% of your first one-time purchase. Check out the episode description below. But like I said, today we have a very special panel discussion that's bound to spark some honest conversations, a few laughs, and maybe even some breakthroughs. The big question we're asking: what can men and women do better in dating? And we will dive into the real stuff, from first dates to dating apps, expectations, and even the intimacy, if you get to that level. With consent, of course. And everyone's got a take. So let's hear everything once and for all. Let's hear everybody out. We listen, we don't judge, and we will get the breakthroughs. So the panel tonight is Jose, Ryan, and Allison, our regulars here at Productive Conversations. And for the first time making her Productive Conversations debut, we're very excited to have Rainiv Zan. Sorry. We have Rainiv Zaman here joining us for the first time on Productive Conversations. Rainiv, first I gotta apologize because my notes on my teleprompter messed up the last name, so I apologize there with a Ron Burgundy moment. But in all seriousness, we're very, very happy to have you here, and we're looking forward to hear your insight about the world of dating.
Likewise, and you're not the first person to get my name wrong, so it's totally fine. 27 years of this, so we're good.
Hey, whatever's on the prompter, that's what Matt says.
Never again. Literally, man. Well, that's a good thing for those watching out there. It could bless opportunities. But Jose, Ryan, and Allison, our regulars here, how are you all doing? It's great to see you. It's great seeing you, Allison. We missed you all. We missed you last week. So it's great to see you back from Wisconsin.
You ran off to the Midwest there.
Ate a lot of cheese curds. I think I had cheese curds almost every single day I was there.
Well, we know how Matt feels about cheese, but
certain cheeses. But
I almost brought some back. I was like, but I didn't know when I was going to see Matt again. So
I know an MB review of cheese curds.
Back?
I'd still do it.
An MB review of cheese curds would have been something else.
I know, but they would be so bad by the time I see Matt again in like
I know.
2 weeks. So maybe
we'll
I'll
have to plan
the Trader Joe's ones, and I'll put them in the air fryer, and then you could try those. That's as close as we're gonna get.
I will at least try everything.
Well, of course.
The reaction there, we will see. But everyone else is doing well. Ryan, Jose.
Yeah, doing good. Can't complain. Thanks for Magic Mind.
All right. Thank you to Magic Mind for this, and we will hear some more information there. But as I said, let the show begin. Let's talk about dating once and for all. The panel broken up. We have two single men, two single women, and one married man who's got to the finish line, if you will, in the world of dating. And amazing stuff there. Ryan, you've been with your wife for how long? On top of the marriage, just how many years together?
Oh, on top of the marriage, we've been together 13 years, but we've been married for 3. So,
Incredible. So it's great to hear somebody's
Well, there's
perspective
hope.
on the other side.
yeah, we say that we made it through. They say the first, what is it? I think it's the first like 5 or 6 are like the hardest, but we've been together 13. So I feel like close enough. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we weren't married the whole time, but close enough.
Hear that? Well, if I don't have any other questions for the next hour and a half, we will break this all down, hear stories, hear takes, and most importantly, help you understand where people are at in the world of dating here in 2025. All right, so let's talk about the first dates once and for all. So, my first question to you all: what can men and women do better when it comes to the first date? And specifically here, what are we getting wrong about first dates? What do we wish people understood more clearly about that stage? And once you decide you are going to go out with each other, what can we do to make the experience better?
I feel like this ends up being a lot like the guy's part of this. I don't know if that is every relationship. Obviously, Allison and Rainoff can say if they don't see it that way in their own experiences, but I feel like a lot of times it falls upon the guy to make that first move, most of the time, if not all the time. And so I think one of the things that guys should be doing, and obviously girls should be doing to help, is you got to find out what they like. Which is a two-sided thing. It's not just, oh, you got to be more open about what you want, but like you should really, for that first date, especially if you've been talking for a little while and you've been biding your time or whatever, and it's not just an impulsive let's grab a drink because you find somebody kind of attractive or whatever on an app. Like I do think you genuinely need to, if you're taking your time, plan a really good first date that matches the person that you're trying to get to know better. So that would be my thing is everyone says communication, which is like a boring answer because it means so many different things. So the specifically like talk about your interests even before the date. I know that a lot of times you say, so what do you like to do on a date? But I do think it's helpful to know because if it's something that you both going to enjoy, you're going to just feel more comfortable and it won't be as awkward. And then the conversation will happen naturally. You won't need all that small talk to get through it. So that would be my thing. I think that girls and guys need to be like way better about the small talk before the date to get to know each other.
Amen. I
I'm oh, what did I cut off?
No, you're good.
Nobody. It's all you. All you.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I have never been on a date before, never been asked. I've been on apps for a while, and it's like pulling teeth when it
Mm.
comes to getting a guy to kind of ask out. I'll quite literally tell them, "Oh, I love going to comedy shows. I love doing this, da 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 da." And it's like, and I work with kids. Sometimes it's very hard to get those kids to do certain things. It's easier
Mhm.
for me to get my kids that I work with to get the job done than it is to get a man to ask me out. I have to be the one
Interesting.
to be like, okay, well, when are you free? Da da da. And then I end up unmatching them because they are just not meeting me where I need them to meet me.
So do you think just and obviously Allison jump in here too. Do you think it's like like a fear thing? Because we've talked about this on the show before. Like I saw a stat and I don't remember where it was, so don't like, if I'm wrong, don't get mad. But like there was a stat that was like guys under 30 or something like that. Like it was a ridiculous percentage of them, like 50 something, 60% have never like never gone up to like a girl in person to socialize or female in person to socialize. And so it's like if that's true, then is it genuinely like they just don't know how to talk to somebody, even on the app? Because to me,
Mhm.
that's like to think that you've never been asked to go like for a drink or grab coffee, like not even like a really simple kind of easy one, like because I'm not some Lothario. But I feel like I have I did anyway have the confidence to like suggest coffee or something. You know what I mean? If I wanted to get to know somebody at least a little bit better before jumping into something more serious. So that's shocking to me, actually, genuinely.
Yeah, it was more, they're so quick to ask for you to pull up to their house or whatever. They're
Mm,
faster when it comes to asking to hook up than to ask you out on a date. And then you have to draw that boundary, depending on where you are in your life. You have to hit that boundary of, oh, yeah, well, I'm not here for hookups. I'm not doing all that. But
mm,
even when it comes to hookups, there is just no courtesy.
mm.
We are just buy me a drink, buy me dinner. My God, do something.
At
It's the
least.
meme, buy me dinner first.
I'm stealing your batteries next time. Just like I'll steal all your batteries. I'm stealing all your Luff shoes. I'm making it inconvenient for you. Just do
Do
something.
something. What do you all think about that? Do something.
I feel like in the first date, you really got to make a good first impression. You got to make it fun. You got to make yourself interesting. The goal of the first date, by most people, is to get a second date. You have to do stuff that makes you interesting enough to want to see the person again. And of course, the easiest, most authentic way is to be yourself among when you have that type of night. And then if you vibe, like the one thing the great Erica Larson said on Productive Conversations a long time ago, my great friend Erica from college, on how, though criticizing men, I did agree that we all make this seem so harder than it is because, and I think even you could attest to this, Ryan, if it's really going to work with your specific person, then things are going to, you know, most likely work out. And as I said with the great Allison here, what I've learned, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
I mean, they'll forgive you. You could definitely mess up, but
Well,
yes.
I
But
don't
you know
think
what I
that
mean?
like I don't think he's saying like it's not okay to mess up. I think he's just
No,
saying
yeah, yeah,
like
no,
Yeah,
definitely.
like I'm not saying,
regardless of who you're with, like if you say the wrong thing or maybe make yourself look a little silly or
Yeah,
stupid,
they won't care. Yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
not gonna
yeah.
care.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, but going back to the point of men approaching women, I do think it has become a fear thing. I don't know if COVID had something to do with it. I'm really not sure, but I know like a lot of guys I have talked to, I'm like even friends of mine, they'll be like, girls are scary. And I'm like, I really don't think we're that scary. I think we can be intimidating sometimes. Like, I think now we've talked about this a few segments ago, but I think now in the world of like social media, it's hard to want to approach a person or not feel like a creeper, so to speak. Like whether you're at the gym, like you see someone you're interested in, or maybe you're at a bar and you don't want to come off as creepy because you don't know how people are going to take it.
Mm,
So you don't know if you're going to be the next famous TikTok or next meme, like you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like so I think that
That's one
that
for
has a
sure.
lot of fear as well. So I think COVID for sure, lack of like communicative skills, basic like human interaction, and then I also think just like social media kind of has like a big precedence on that as well.
I want to toss it to Matt and Jose here. Are you guys, would you say that there is a fear? Again, I can't like I've been out of it for a little while as we talked about at the beginning. So I'm not afraid of hanging out with women or talking to women, but I understand that the pressure's off. You know what I mean? I get it. It's different. So like for people who are still dating, is there actually a fear? Because I never experienced that, but again, it's been a while since I've had to go on a date. You know what I mean? So the world
Yeah.
is different now.
But
No, I never thought of it as a fear, like compared to fear, like fear of failing or death or embarrassment. Not necessarily. Probably earlier on, yeah. And then seeing people be made of examples of. But at this point, I feel like I have enough composure and respect that if I'm not afraid to approach somebody like that if it's warranted. I also am somebody who pays attention to the body language, and if they are open me or giving me an opportunity to want to speak with them, I look for that as well. So I
Are we
definitely look
referring
for
to
those
online?
context clues. This
Are
is
we
for
are we referring to online dating or meeting in person?
Either or.
person. The online dating apps will be the
Oh,
next
that's
segment.
you're right. That's a separate segment. So yeah, in person.
Okay, in person, got it.
So are you scared?
Jose's not.
Um,
I don't think Jose's scared. Silver.
I mean, being honest, I'm not. It's a lack of interest of
Mm,
me asking a girl. If I wanted to ask you, I'm gonna ask you.
okay.
If I'm not that interested, I'm not gonna ask you. I'll just friend zone you.
So then I guess the question is, if guy, I mean, I think probably both can be true. So I'm sure some guys are scared. But for the other guys' perspective, the guys who are not scared, they're just not interested. Is it we just
Right?
like people don't use that, they're not
If a
in
girl,
person
hold
anymore?
on, I don't understand. Scared of what?
Oh, getting
If I
rejected would
if
be
I
my
if I
assumption, but I don't
if I
know.
have a girl talking to me, if I'm having a conversation with a girl and she looks
Hmm.
interested, what would I be scared of?
I
Now
don't
I
know.
understand. I understand me approaching a woman. I'll
Right.
be
Well, I
kind
think
of
that's what we're
whatever.
talking about. Yeah.
But if I'm already having a conversation with them
Hmm.
and I'm not asking, it's not because I'm scared. It's
Because
just
you're
either I'm
interested.
not
Yeah.
sure or I'm not really that interested, physically attracted to you to care.
Okay.
Oh, so I guess my question is, why talk to someone in the first place?
Why
Just
not?
like you're just curious, or like
What?
if you didn't find someone physically attractive, why go up
Listen,
and talk to them?
easy, because it's either two ways I can go look at it. I can either I'm whatever with it. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. I give two shits. Or two, I can sleep with you. Either or, pick my poison. I
So
don't
even if
care.
you're not attracted to her physically, you would still sleep with her
Why not?
because you're not physically attracted to her. So why would you involve
Am I doing
yourself in
anything
a
tonight?
physical?
Am I doing anything tonight? Exactly.
Wait, what? What do you
Am
mean?
I doing
He's not
anything else?
saying
If I'm
tonight
talking,
actually. He's
not
saying
actually tonight.
yeah.
I'm saying, am I the night? If I'm talking to you, and
The
I
night in
got
question.
the night in question, if I got no plans, why not?
Because you're not physically attracted to them. So what's
I
the
s-
point of wasting your
I
time?
still gonna smash. I just keep it moving after.
I guess I just don't get why like even waste your time if you're not like interested or attracted to that
Would
person. Like
I? Okay,
Depends
can
on
I
what
ask you a
you're
question?
looking for.
cool you get laid, but
Okay,
it's
let me ask
like
you a question. Would you rather? Okay, let me ask you. Would you rather masturbate or would you have somebody with you?
Well, I think
I
I
mean,
will.
obviously it's like better if like you have
Exactly,
someone with you.
exactly,
But if you're not
exactly.
attracted to that person or physically connected to
Listen,
that person,
I can
what's the
pretend
fucking point?
I can pretend you're Jennifer fucking Lopez. I can turn the
If
motherfucking
that's
lights
the
off.
case, I'll just go freaking watch porn, tie myself up, do whatever I gotta do.
Yeah,
Women can
but
do
you
whatever they
already
gotta do
know it's not the
themselves.
same.
Wow.
Fuck
You
it.
already know
I
it's not the
Hold,
masturbate to myself. I
same.
hold
masturbate
on.
myself all the time. Who
I
cares?
get that. I understand that. But us
And I
guys,
do.
we're
I
the
have a great time.
us,
I have
I
more.
get.
I give myself more orgasms than most men have
Listen,
given myself. So
it's all amazing.
end of the day, if my vibrator can't, if he can't do it, my vibrator can. So women
Okay,
don't
but
even need men to have
at the
kids anymore. Like, do you guys
at the
understand that? Like,
Cool.
at
women
Can
the
do
I?
not even need men to have kids anymore. It's so
Hold
crazy.
on, hold on. Can I? Let me jump in for a
Like,
quick
don't
second.
even get me started. I don't need a man for anything. If I want to have sex with a man, cool. But like, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if I'm not attracted to someone or whatever, I'm not a dog like a guy. No offense to men, but like, I am not gonna fuck anything that has a pulse or walks. A lot of men just want to get it in and get wet. No offense, I'm a little
but
better
you
than
said
that.
it.
I like to think so. So if I
Nobody.
gotta push on
Hold
my
on. So let me
vibrator and like
actually let me hold on.
pop,
Seriously, let me
fine,
ask.
I will
Let me
do that.
ask. Let me ask Jose before you jump back in.
Mhm.
And I think I see where the disconnect is, and I don't necessarily disagree with either one of you.
You better
So,
not.
oh no, hold on. So in reality, Allison and everyone can jump in here too. For you, like intimacy requires some sort of spark. Like if there's no attraction, no spark, like and I think this is true. I know people, especially who are like this. I personally was never really like this. I was not like a big hookup kind of person. But I know people who are like this, where it is fun, right? Intimacy with another person is fun to do. It feels good. And so people like to do it. And so if you find someone who's interested, you got no plans, as Jose has kind of put out there. And so you're like, yeah, if you're interested, I can be down. Sounds like a fun time. And again, I think some people obviously rap is the wrong word, but they have more, again, they're looking for a spark, they're looking for some sort of connection before they get intimate with somebody. And I don't think that that's wrong, but I do think it's important to realize, and this is where, again, back to communication, we'll talk about this when we go to expectations later. You kind of have to know that up front. You've got to know that the person that you're talking to is, looking for a good time or a long time, and they're not always looking for both. But I don't think either is wrong. Like, I don't think someone saying, listen, if I'm talking to a girl and we're hitting it off and I'm not really attracted to her, but she's attracted to me and she wants me to go back to her place, I don't necessarily think, as long as the expectations are clear off rip, that is inappropriate. If everybody knows, like, yeah, this is for fun, this is just, I don't want to say
A live
mechanical,
sex celebration.
but yeah, not mechanical, but like this is literally just like physically
Just getting
this will feel good. Yeah.
getting each other
Right.
off.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Ryan, there's two types of fucking people. There's people that fuck with emotion and people that don't.
No, I'm basically just
I'm
saying
not
that,
saying
but
you can't fuck
appropriately.
without emotion. In the statement you said before, you straight up said, I am not
Yep.
attracted to the person or interested in the person.
Okay, does that have to have emotion? Again, I have
Right,
no
I mean-
emotion,
But
so I
you're not
give
even
two shits.
attracted to them. Like you don't
Yeah.
find them.
Why
I feel like the
not?
person you sleep
I have
with.
a question.
If I'm
for-
not-
Oh, we got a
If
We
ring.
could go in
We got a
ring.
question. Hold on. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Quick question for Jose.
Hmm.
Why are you hooking up with someone you're not? And I'm not talking about emotions. I'm talking about physical attraction. If you're not
Okay.
physically attracted to someone, why are you hooking up with them? What are you gaining from it? Just a simple, you just need a
Yeah.
hole? Is that what you're trying to say?
In my eyes, if I got a hole, I'd rather have a hole than use my left hand. You get what I'm saying?
I think we could put that less grotesquely though. And no, seriously, I do think we can't, like, again, like physically, and I think we're all adults. Physically, that activity is fun, right? It is enjoyable to do, especially when done well. And so, I don't know that you need to. I don't know how connected or even physically attracted you need to be interested in getting that, like, physical release. Again, it's like a physicality thing. And I was never this way. I was never able to do that. It was not something that my mind didn't work that way. I was like, if I'm not into you, I don't want to.
Oh,
I know,
we know,
Brian,
Ryan.
we know. If I'm not into you, I don't want that physical intimacy. I was not that way. But I do know people who were that way. And I don't necessarily know that I feel like they're like bad or wrong or doing something inappropriate unless, and this is the thing that I would agree with, if you're laying it on thick, right? If you're like, oh, this girl's into me, I'm not doing anything tonight. So now you're, calling her beautiful, you're doing all these things or whatever, and you're trying to you're trying to initiate this because you're bored. To me, that feels wrong because now you're trying to get something under false pretenses. If
You
you're
want
just literally talking about the New York Yankees and she's like, want to come back to my place, and you say yes, I see no problem with that. But I have to be honest with you, I feel like that's really uncommon, right? I feel like most of the time when a guy is not interested and still ends up going home with somebody, it's because they decided they were going to pretend to be interested. And to me, that is not okay. Like,
you ever
that's not
thought?
something you should do because now you're messing with people's emotions.
Okay, we get that part. We don't care about that part, Ryan. No offense. You ever thought
Well, we do
about
care about that part.
You ever thought about guys getting a high of just adding a notch to their belt to
Have
pull their numbers
I?
high?
Which is
Not you, a
disgusting.
guy.
I mean,
Which
some
is
guys,
fine.
sure.
Which I'm fine. I agree with you. It is. But the point is, some assholes out there do like that, do prefer it, and it's a lot higher of a number than you guys like to think. Just to add a number to their notch.
Well, I feel like
It's some
that's crazy.
no, it's
Genuinely,
just like
because
when
it's a number.
guys
No one's
listen,
gonna know.
listen, it doesn't matter. But they flaunt that shit. Matt can tell we be on a group chats with a bunch of guys, and of course not you, Pope Ryan, and we're flaunting our number. We're flaunting who we got,
Well, who
even if we
cares?
didn't give to you again, Pope Ryan. I get you don't care.
Well, but what?
But
No one
when
cares. Like,
a lot of guys,
realistically.
I got
a lot
5
of
more
guys,
minutes on this segment.
a lot of guys flaunt that shit. is just a number to them, they'll take it. People get off on it. What
It's
can I
just a
tell
number
you?
to everybody. It doesn't mean anything.
Yes, but people like to brag, Ryan. It's just a guy thing. I get it.
I guess. All right, I'm amending what I
It's
said.
it's it's like think about it. It's like there's people hunt fucking deers and shit. They got one deer. They got like 10,000. Who gives a shit? But they like to flaunt that shit, don't they?
I guess. I think
It's the same shit. Just think of
um,
the guys hunting in fucking Africa trying to get a lion, and they get it, and they keep it fucking moving to the next lion.
all right,
Just
so
think of it as that.
my amendment, guys, when you're approaching a woman, don't look at yourself as what did you just say, a hunter for a lion. That's a bad. Don't do that. If your head is that lion hunter, then simply put, just go outside, take a deep breath, maybe, maybe go
Man,
to a different bar. Lion
as,
hunter is a wild thing to see yourself as in a club.
and as
It's
for
people just trying to have fun.
and as for me, for the first date part of this point in my life, just want a special dope ass night that will lead to a second date. I don't
Second date.
necessarily need to get laid that night. Of course, it'd be great. Well, but I'm just I hope to get a text back saying I had fun and it's genuine and maybe even
Yeah.
lead to a little small conversation after that about whatever. Especially, I journal, right? Actually journal. I've journaled every day since 2017, August 17th, 2017. I've written everything I've done. And I actually looked at them. It was hard. Some's hard, easier than others. Documented some relationships within that. My significant ones too. And I'm looking at the things that worked well, right? And most of them is patterns, right? And where I see, wow, it turns out we had a genuine connection night. It was a smooth night. And then we talked a little bit after. I didn't date anybody significantly that I went home with that night either, except one. But there wasn't any sex that night. Just went home just to hang out more. And I was like, wow. I've know the big thing here is that it was just easy, smooth, like me hanging out with someone I'm comfortable with. That's the thing I just want out of the first day. I just want to feel comfortable in my skin, and I hope they do too. And then, that's the goal. It doesn't happen a lot. But looking through the last 8 years, we see it's possible. And there's no rush there. So whomever that next first date is, whoever you are out there, maybe I'm talking to you right now on Hinge. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I'm about to swipe on you. Or maybe I run into them on the street. I just care about comfortability at this point, and I hope they do too. So, speaking of, let's go to that dating app culture, swipe culture. Let's talk about it. What can men and women do better in dating when it comes to dating apps? Are we too picky? Are we too bland? Are we too fast? What do you say?
Um, this is more of like it's a discussion that's been happening online a lot. It's swiping and matching is giving a lot of these people, men and women, like both, they're getting this instant gratification of, oh, this person thinks I'm hot. And then a week goes by, nobody's texting anybody. And obviously, women want men to start courting again. Like men used to go to war, you hear that all the time. What happened to that? None of these men reach out. They're just there with their instant gratification, and it's annoying. And Matt knows this, and Allison knows this. I've sent that I've been starting to send this message to all the men that wait, that don't respond to me within 48 hours. And I give a leeway because people have a life. I'm not
Sure,
expecting
yeah.
them to be on the app 24/7. So I give them about like 24 to 48 hours to say something. I'm either unmatching them or I am calling them out.
You and I are on the same, built from the same cloth on that. I do the exact same thing.
It's just my message is, oh, did matching with me give you the serotonin boost you needed? Because what the fuck?
I love serotonin.
Man, I love serotonin. I would say, so anyone who's watched any number of these shows knows my opinion on the dating apps. I think they're trash. I understand that's where most dating happens nowadays. I consider myself, I consider myself very lucky to have an amazing wife. I consider myself twice as lucky because I met said amazing wife in person. And I've never even had a Tinder account. My wife did, but I didn't. That was still when it was early on, before a lot of people were using it. So anyway, point being, my advice on dating apps is twofold. First, don't rely entirely on dating apps. Like, because for a ton of the reasons that we just heard, like, yeah, it gives you that instant boost. Like, look at these 10 people who like me. They don't like you, they don't know you. They saw a picture and they were somewhat interested, so they swiped. You don't, and then again, you don't matter to them sometimes. Sometimes 48 hours will pass and they won't say anything. Why? Because you're just one of 10 people that they liked. And they're not really, you know what I mean? They got so many options and they get the power, right? You match together, but after that, whoever texts, is basically just waiting. You give power to the person who texts second, you know what I mean? So that would be first advice, is less dating apps. And then I think the second one is don't overthink it. And again, I say this is someone who has never done dating apps, but from talking to my friends who all do dating apps, and I don't have a single friend who enjoys the apps, not a single one. Like, even like Jose is the closest I'll get to someone who says positive things about the app, and even he doesn't really like the app. You know what I mean? So it's just genuinely, to me, like, don't people are overthinking. They're like, oh, this means this means that. You got, like, we have like a whole lingo and a whole like code thing where it's like, if so and so does this and at this time, then it means they want this. But if they do that at this time, it means they want something different. No, it doesn't mean that. I mean, yeah, it might. I can't pretend that I know what everybody wants, but sometimes people are just random. Sometimes someone will just say a thing that you've never seen before, or they'll say a thing that you think means one thing and they'll mean another. If you're interested, or honestly, if you're just looking to see where something goes, like you've just spent a while, you want to keep talking, you should keep talking. Trying to come up with a formula for, like, this is a real date and this is not a real date, or this, it's not going to work. And that sucks to hear for people who have not had luck. I do get that. But I mean, while I wasn't on the apps, like, I had plenty of people who were not interested in my when I was trying to date them. Like, it's not like, oh, first try you nail it. Like, and so it's supercharged because you've got 100 people that you can talk to at the same time, as opposed to like four when you're doing it in person in like your neighborhood or your college or whatever. But I do think that that's a real problem, is people are just overthinking. They want to find the perfect match, and they want to try and like get it down to a science. And it's not a science. You just got to talk to people. You're going to end up with a lot of friends. And that bothers especially guys. But I think it bothers girls too. And obviously jump in if I'm wrong. But I think it bothers girls almost as much as guys, that they were like, well, I don't want a friend. I want this to work. And I get that. But if you're doing it right, in my opinion, you're going to end up with a lot of friends, because you're going to meet a lot of people who you don't connect with in that way, but you spend a lot of time talking with them. And so I think that,
Why do you think it's more guys than girls?
why do I think guys want, well, I think guys who are looking to actually date,
Okay.
specifically, there are plenty of guys on apps who are not looking to date, and I'm not referring to them.
Mm.
But if you're, I think more women are on apps looking to find like an actual long-term relationship. That's my opinion. I don't have anything to back that up. That's just a vibe check from the people I know who are on apps. But I think,
So what do you think it'd be more girls than guys then?
what do you mean? Well, no,
Well,
I don't.
more girls are looking to date. So when it happens, more girls are irritated than guys. Is because there's less.
I didn't mean like raw numbers. I'm talking like as a percentage of the total. The
Okay.
percentage of the total is what I'm referring to. Like, of everyone looking to date. Anyway, point is, I think that guys who are looking to date get far more caught up in this idea that their time was wasted. That's my opinion. And I think
Sometimes
some
you
of
can
that,
feel that way.
right. And
But
I mean, and I do get
just
that.
it's natural. It's just natural too.
Yeah.
Like Allison, our movie, The 500 Days of Summer, right? Spoilers coming. The very end of that movie, when we have Zoe Deschanel get called out by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Hey, you said you weren't looking for anything serious. Now you're married. And what does she say?
Said I didn't know. She said along the line something like I didn't find that with you or something. She was like,
Yes, that and the fact that she just met the right person at the right time.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel with these dating apps too. Whether it's Ryan's advice, sometimes you have to just meet somebody that matches your freak, or it's just society since Adam and Eve. It's
Ryan
from
freak.
what I'm when he said you got to meet someone that match your freak.
I think
About
I
to
said that
say.
like
I'm
like
about to
almost a
say.
year ago. But yes, I did say
Ryan,
that.
Ryan and the word freak should not be in the same sentence.
Well, you know
There's a
what I mean.
song, is
I
somebody gonna
mean,
match
Matt and
my
I are
freak?
friends from dating app.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I
exactly.
mean.
But what I'm saying
My
is,
friend Brett and I, who met and ran off have met, are friends from a dating app.
yeah. So what I'm saying is, and going off my aunt who says, you just know. And it's just the idea that one day that special person just enters your life and you'll know what to do then. That's what I believe, at least, even though I'm still looking. And even with the strong, significant relationships I've had, they just showed up one day on an app 4 times and once on the street.
Once on
On the
street.
street in New York, just ran into them. They just showed up. I wasn't praying or whatever, right? They just got in my feed, and then this time I was walking. Where was I? I was walking by one of the parks, and then I just saw her. No, I was at a bar, and I saw her there, and outside of the bar, and like, yeah, that's where I mostly see with the swiping now, and even the rest of my pursuit and hoping to meet a special person. And that's what I'm talking about, the Zoe Deschanel. She just happened to run into that person, and now they're married in the fake world they are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, well, I think it comes, and that's why I was kind of
And even you
curious.
can attest to that too, Ryan. If you agree
Yeah.
or disagree.
No, I mean,
Melissa just showed up out in that line, right?
I mean, didn't just show up, but yeah, I mean, we'd known each other before we even started dating,
No. I'm saying
which,
though, like your literal very first, you go to orientation, you
oh
just
yeah,
so
yeah,
happen to
no,
walk
yes,
in her
correct.
path. Literally,
So
your
yeah,
paths
yeah,
cross.
we literally we were getting in line. We had to take like a class picture after orientation at my first day of college. I got in line, and Melissa was the person. Melissa's my wife. Was the person standing next to me. So we just started chatting, exchanged numbers. We met up a few times, became friends, and then a couple years into college, we really kind of felt like we might be better as more than friends, and now we're married. So, yeah, I mean, it is kind of random. I mean, all of life is random like that, but I do think there is an important distinction of when I met Melissa, when I met anyone that I dated, I didn't meet them saying, "Oh, I'm going to date this person." You know what I mean? And I do think there's this idea that you see this person, you're like, "Oh, I'm going to marry them." Maybe that's true, and you can talk to other people who have said that, and they could
Hmm.
tell you what they feel like. But I can again. I'm married now for 3 years, and I spent the first 2 years I knew my current wife not even dating. Not even just not even dating. We did nothing. We did not hook up. We did not like experiment. We did nothing. She had a boyfriend that entire time. I had a couple of different girls around that time as well. Like it was definitely we were friends. We were friends. We got along. We liked to hang out. We had totally separate love lives. We told each other about our totally separate love lives. Again, not because we didn't think that it'd ever be a problem. You know what I mean? Like it was that we were never like, oh, this person could get jealous someday about my exes or whoever I was with the night before because we thought we were just friends. It turned into something else, and so I think with the apps, you got to just kind of you can't try and formula it. You know what I mean? There's no Excel sheet that's going to be like, I'll put in all these data points and it'll, kick out the name of the person who's most likely to actually be a gentleman, right? You just got to meet people and that'll be that. And then maybe, not maybe, eventually somebody will be interested in you the way you're interested in them and off you go.
Off you go, right?
Feel like the old man in the group.
What was the question of the freaking this topic?
This is
What can men
about
and women do better
online.
in dating apps?
Online, which is what
Jeez.
which is what I was saying about don't go into it looking to like try and make a formula for the online dating. You're probably going to have a lot of friends and a lot of people you don't talk to anymore because you've swiped on a lot of people, you've talked to a lot of people, and I know that that's tiring, but I think it's genuinely just the only really the only way that it can be done. I think it's always been done that way, honestly, before the dating apps too. But the dating apps have just taken the numbers from 10 to like 1,000. So
Mhm.
instead of cycling through like 10 people on your campus or whatever, you're cycling through 1,000 people in Manhattan. And it's like, yeah, obviously that's gonna be way more tiring. There's so many more people. Still only looking for one person. The
And that could
number that you're
be, and
looking
that's
for
what
doesn't
also makes
change.
it exciting, whether in the city or Washington or some other big city. Like, you see who else is out there and who's next. That's one
Yeah.
thing that I do like about the dating apps is because literally the possibilities are endless.
You like accept the part where they don't message you back right away.
I mean, just the way I look at it is they don't like me back. What am I gonna do? I'll find someone who likes me.
But you'll
I
write
just
them on
don't
that.
get why it's like,
Okay,
You'll
it's
write you.
not right away. Everybody has a life, but
Well, yeah,
it's
exactly.
not, we've matched for a week and you haven't spoken. It's like you're wasting my time at this point. And you know, like Ryan said, usually you shouldn't really be going into something by saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be forever. We're gonna get married." I definitely want to build a connection, at least a friendship at the least, so we can build a trust. But that's not even working. They don't even want to do that. They just want to be the most boring. Oh my gosh, everybody's so boring. And it's that meme, like, I'm tired of finding out what your favorite color is. I never ask what their favorite color is because I couldn't care less. Some of my best friends I've known for 10 years, I don't know their favorite color, but we talk about real shit. And I feel like nobody wants to talk about real shit. Talk about your hobbies. What do you do for work? Why did you do that? Can we talk about that instead of, oh, what's your favorite color? Oh, what kind of food do you like? We'll find out
I
as
agree
we.
with you. You have to have a conversation that leads to you actually getting to know each other and grow the connection. Only so many
On the
color
app.
specifically app, but
Why
that could work
not?
either way too. Yeah.
Fuck out of here. You guys are crazy on that one.
What do you with? So because I told this girl my favorite color is blue.
That's
Me and
fine.
her are gonna go walking, holding
Oh,
hands and
oh,
dancing, and
God,
gonna
Jesus.
get married and gonna go to the Pandora's box
So,
in a couple years.
that's not what I just said. I said you want to go ask fucking serious questions on a dating app. That's one like that's like okay, cool. That's not the smartest thing in the world.
It's a way to filter people out.
Raw again, I think here's the thing. You kind of go not by what their question is, you kind of go by the vibe of the conversation. If I'm pulling teeth, are they giving me one word answers?
Mm,
Whatever, cool. If I'm gonna get into a deep conversation, I'd rather do that shit in person if I'm gonna have a dinner date. If I
I
already
think
know
that's
you're
fair.
so
Yeah,
if I'm already having deep conversations with you online, then by the time I have dinner with you, what the fuck am I doing?
You go deeper. But
Go deeper, or on the first day, I'm gonna go real super date. What's your
why
political
not?
views?
Oh
No,
no, I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
my first
All right.
date.
I mean, although I will say you do have to eventually talk
My
about that, but
my first my if I'm online dating and I'm first talking to you, I'm actually trying to see if I can vibe with you. It's one step one of me going. If I'm chatting with you and it's just going and it's going smoothly, I don't feel like I'm pulling teeth. I don't feel like it's a one-sided conversation. I'm actually get vibing and just letting the conversation go where it needs to go. Bet cool. Guess what? Maybe I'm gonna video chat you, kind of see where it is and seeing each other in person from there, and then I'll go on a date with you. And then we can go on some deeper, meaningful shit after that. But me to get into some deep conversation online, by the time I do that, by the time I spend 4 days, I know every goddamn thing about you. So by the time I have dinner with you, all I give a shit about was why my steak not fucking medium rare. And
You
I'm just gonna
shouldn't
be like, I'm
know
done.
everything about a person though. Like you're never
Not
gonna
on the
truly
first.
know everything about a
I
person.
mean,
I know, but I'm not. But my point is, but the basics, I shouldn't know all the basics by the time the first date. That was what makes
no, why
the
not?
first date. The first date's interesting is knowing these little things more better than you. Keep it simple on the online date. You can just look in the vibe. If I'm on the online dating with you for more than 4 fucking days, conversating with you, then something's fucking wrong.
I mean, I knew quite a bit about my
I
now
get
wife when
okay.
we went
I
on our
get
first
that.
date.
That's different, Popey. I'm talking about online
No, but I
dating.
don't think it is
My job is to
actually.
get to meet you in person. When I'm at the bar
Yeah,
and I meet
but
you, when I meet you at the bar, I'm there for 30 seconds to I got 2 minutes to get to the bar, get to know you, buy your drink, get the number, and see you later, and then handle it from there. It's the same thing on online dating. I'm thinking I got 2, 3 days max. Then I'm gonna try to put if the vibes right. Then I'm gonna try to see you that weekend. If I really like you, I'm gonna try to see you that weekend. or something, and then continue that conversation. If I'm having a full-fledged conversation with you online, I'm friend zoning the shit out of you. I just don't see it.
I
I'm
mean,
not going to continue on with it.
which might be genuinely how you like what you do. I'm not disagreeing with that because I don't know. I'm not you. But we heard two women just say that the surface level stuff is boring online. And so yeah, I do get that I didn't use an app, but I'm saying like
Well,
factually, you
you're
can
right.
get to a date
You gotta get to the point, the
knowing
blank and the period.
well,
Eventually.
I'm just saying you can know a lot about someone because you talk to them for 4 days, then still go on the date, and I mean still have plenty to talk
Guy,
about.
okay,
You
let
know
me
what I
explain.
mean?
Let me explain saying guy's point of view. Guy, online dating is like shopping guys' clothes. When we go for clothes shopping, we already know what we're looking for. We already know what we want, and we know if we want it, we're gonna go get it. Yes or no?
For
Same.
clothes shopping, yes, but
So,
I just
but the
don't.
picture,
The
same
premise I
shit,
disagree
same
with.
premise. I already know what I'm looking for. I already know what I like. I already know what I'm interested. So when I'm
But
gonna try it
dating is supposed to be finding out, like, yeah, you have
Yeah,
again,
but
I'm with
like,
Allison on this one.
online dating is to try it on. Once you feel like it's a fit, you take it and you're gonna go out on it. Just that's a guy's point of view. I get girls or think differently, but a guy on online dating, I'm gonna try it on, vibe it, cool, looks good. All right, let's go.
I
If I'm
guess
not
I don't.
there, if I'm not there, if I'm 3 days in and I know all this shit about you, you're never gonna hear me. Hey, do you want to go on a date? It's not happening. It's
I
not.
mean, why though? Just
Okay,
go on the
but
date.
I'm sorry.
I could,
Pause.
if I could ask a girl for a number 2 minutes in the bar, why wouldn't I not try that 2 days into the online dating?
I mean, you can, but who cares if it takes four? Like,
But
I don't
that's my,
understand
but
what
that's
the
my, but there's
Jose,
no
I have a
arbitrary
incentive.
number.
question.
There's no incentives of me asking if I already got you and I know all this shit. It just doesn't make me interested.
I guess I don't know. That doesn't necessarily compute with me.
I think you can
I
always dive, like I said, with conversation. I feel like you can always dive deeper. You can always
yes, I
scratch a
get
new
that.
surface.
You're
You can
right.
always
And
learn. Like I
Those,
said,
but
Ryan's
if
been married, and he
I
probably
get that.
learns things every day about his wife's family, or if there's different like levels
Facts.
to it.
I get you,
Rainiff
but
has something to ask too. Can we
go
just do
ahead,
that quick?
let it go. Yeah, let's go.
I have a question for Jose.
Oh
What
God.
the fuck are you expecting to do for the rest of the relationship? You're just like, oh, I don't want to get to know you in the first 3 days. 3 days. Okay, fine, but what the fuck do you expect to do for the rest of your life? Ryan's been with his wife for 13 years. I'm pretty sure he's still getting to know her till today. They're talking every single day. If I can't hold a conversation with you for 3 straight days, or we can't keep a fucking conversation up, and then you run out of shit to say on the date, it's over. Why is it so? Why don't you want to talk? What what are you gonna do for the rest of your life when you're with that person?
Repeat the. Okay, so I'm confused by the question. If you want me to know, if you want to have a deep dive question, I'm talking about online dating. I don't want to know everything on a fucking dating app. I want to get to know you in person. If I know everything about you online dating, what's the incentive of me going on a date with you?
To
To
meet a
talk about
person. Yeah.
Meet the person, what? And then the conversation goes dead to me.
Well, why? Just don't let
Mo,
it die.
mo,
Just talk
mo,
about something.
and then
there's
that
no
person
interest in
wasn't
me.
for you. If that person was for you, you would have been able to talk to that person for like forever. That conversation would never stop. Is that not true? Ryan, you tell me. Did
I
that
no,
conversation
I
stop?
personally do agree with what you're saying. Yes. I think that if you are with somebody that you connect with, the reality is you're not going to run out of things to talk about. Um, even if you know a lot about them. Like I said, it was 2 years. We were friends for 2 years. I met her family. Well, there was a time I was where she lived. I used to go somewhere nearby on vacation. We hung out again, not dating, just hung out while I was on vacation up in that area. Like I saw her house. I knew her brothers. Like I knew quite a bit about my now wife when we started dating. And it wasn't
Mhm.
like, oh, this is weird. What are we going to talk about? We already know. Like we got to skip a lot of it, right? We didn't have to talk about like we were in college, so it wasn't a what do you do for work, but it's a, oh, what do you want to do after college? That's obviously the big thing you say in college when you're dating. We knew that. Like I talked about jobs I'd apply for. She knew the internships that I had had. I knew that she wanted to, what she wanted to do in science, and I knew like the things that she was looking to accomplish. And so we couldn't start there. That's obviously an easy place to start. I'm not critiquing that at all. It's true. But if you really do have that information already, then it's honestly kind of a better test. So if you learn all that and then you get together and the conversation is dead, that's how you know that you only had the like, you know what I mean? You only had the keyed up kind of like small talk things, the things you have to ask. But if you can know all that, go out for coffee, go out for drinks, whatever, go out for dinner, and still keep a conversation for the entire time about something. It could be something you saw on the subway, right? Like whatever. Like I don't know what it would be necessarily. I would just have to be in that situation to know. But like if you can still do it, and then I would say that that's honestly the best indicator you could possibly have that you and this person that you met online could take this offline and you could become an IRL item. You know what I mean? Like, I really genuinely do think that. It's because, yeah, it's one thing to be like, oh, I want to save everything for in person, but frankly, it pushes you to dig deeper in person and you can skip past the niceties stage to know, okay, they're not just a nice person, they're actually someone I connect with. That's again, it wasn't online, but my personal opinion was that made me and my wife much better off that we actually knew a lot of that stuff well before we got into actually like trying to date.
All right, let's go to the next
Wait,
segment.
ho. You know that when you go ask Ryan for what his opinion, you already know that conversation, your point went dead in the water, right? No, I'm not
I don't
saying
know.
this. I'm not saying I'm
Don't know about
dissing
all
Ryan.
that.
I'm great. We want to know why? Because when you're online dating, you have options. You have more than multiple girls coming at you and conversating
Which
with
is
you.
true. But
Big difference when you're asking a guy that was best friends with his wife and went through all that crap. Got it. Cool. But you're in online dating where there's multiple girls every day, you're flaunting every day, talking to you. It's totally different ballgame. Am I wrong? Ain't you
no, you're
getting a
not
lot of
wrong per se, but
okay,
you're not
so
wrong in terms of how it happens, but I don't think that that has to be the way you look at it.
but
That I
can
think that's my what I'm saying. Like,
I get
yes,
right
technically
we
that's true,
we
but it
have
doesn't have
agreed
to be.
right. We have agreed that you and even Matt has agreed that out of your 1 in a million, all right? Let's be honest. You were best friends with your wife while she was with other guys and you were cool with it. Guys like me and Matt and most guys ain't flowing with that. But you had the good decency of sticking with it. We all respect
But I
that.
wasn't with her at the time, so it was not my business.
But I said you were friends with her and you stuck
Well,
by
yeah, I
that.
was friends with her,
And that's fucking awesome. Most guys won't do that.
I
You're
guess.
different. So, but when it comes to online dating, and I got multiple options coming in, I'm going for the one that just flows and I don't have to have 10,000 fucking like get to know her. Like I don't need to know her book already. That's it. That's all I'm saying. You're asking why it doesn't work online dating, why guys don't message you back, or why this or why that. I'm giving you the answers.
I mean, that's probably correct. That is probably why a lot of guys don't engage. But again, it doesn't need to be that way. It is that way, but it doesn't need to be that way.
Listen, don't hate the game. Don't hate the player. Hate the game,
What do you
kiddo.
want to talk about online? What are you talking about
Here,
online?
here's the. I'm. See, here's the thing with you, and I'm gonna say this. I don't know you, whatever. I don't know your. I never saw your profile. It is what it is. If a guy, and Matt can contest to this, he's online. If I'm interested, I'm gonna message you. I'm not gonna wait a week. And if I did like you, and I never message you, that means either two things. One, I was just swiping right on every fucking name. Or two, I'm already talking to three other girls. I don't care. If you unfriend me, you can message me with your line. Some people will say something, some people won't get like I don't care. And that's the honest truth.
Well, that's what we're here for, the honest truth. But it's just
I can
sucks
tell
that
you
it's the
right
truth.
on my dating apps right now, I probably got like 30 girls. I don't give two shits about one of them. If I think they're pretty enough, if I think I'm attracted to them, I'll message them. If I'm like, whatever, I just said, yeah, but I'm all right, whatever. She messaged me, cool. And not, I keep it freaking moving. If your guy doesn't message you within 1 day or 2 days max, it is what it's just like that. Girls do it to me all the time. It is what it is. I keep it moving.
So
I'm
having
just
said that, though, also good for to go to the next segment. What can men and women do better when it comes to expressing interest? You know,
That's good. Good segue.
let's get real. Let's get real about it. What can men and women do better when it comes to showing interest? Are the signals too subtle? Are they too bold? Are they too confusing? What do you do? And again, this is my thing about not saying the right about saying the right. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Well, unless you absolutely say offensive,
Well, yeah.
weird ass thing. Of course, one, that's not the right person.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing, and I don't suggest testing it. But if you do say those weird things and they do respond, well, I don't know. There's a better chance in that case. But let's be real. But again, it's right there. It's right there. In the words of Aaron Boone that he says stupidly too many times, it's right in front of us. Like, you got to have something to be interesting. You can't have interest without being interesting.
Okay,
So
I wanna.
you have to that's the point with the ultimate advice from your kindergarten teacher to the final boss you will have at your final job. Be yourself. That's what we want because somebody will like you for you.
So hold on, I want to ask like a more pointed question because I don't know that I can be all that helpful in this particular segment. So I'm going to ask the question. I feel like whenever we have a conversation like this in general, guys will talk about, like everyone thinks that the way they're doing it is the right way, right? Every person is like, I'm making it so clear that I'm interested, and the guy's not picking it up. And then the guy would be like, I am so obviously interested, but I don't know that I don't know that they're reciprocating. So what if let's flop it? That's why we got like this group, right? Like for the guys and then for the girls, like what do you expect the other group like person to do? Like ideal scenario, right? You're interested in a guy. What are you doing? And what are you hoping they do in response? And then for the guy, same thing. Like you're interested in a girl. What are you doing and what do you hope they're doing in response?
I won't lie, I stopped messaging men first, ever since Bumble.
Okay.
No, I'm so serious because the app was designed for women to message
make
men
the first.
first. And
Right.
I would match with a bunch of guys and we would match and I wouldn't say the usual hey what's up. I would like pick something off their profile and make it more like geared toward them as a person in their life. And I would like maybe get one response ever. Um
Okay.
so I'm like, what is the point of you either being on here or me messaging you first and trying to engage in conversation when you're not reciprocating? Like it's not flowing both ways. So ever since Bumble ruined it, I stopped messaging first.
Okay. But I mean, like, let's say they message you first. It's still at that point, like, to show interest. You guys are obviously just the act that you've messaged each other shows some interest, right? But like, what are you doing at that point?
Like if he messages me first, I mean I'm
Yeah,
obviously
yeah. You've started talking. Yeah.
usually what I do though is I'm more of somebody who, so if the conversation starts well on an app, what I'll do is obviously I'll get their phone number or their Instagram and then I'll message them on that. And then that way we can FaceTime or call and do whatever to get it more like, because obviously like you can pick Silver. Stop. Then like picture, I guess, in a way what someone is like just by texting, but that's not actually how they're going to be.
Mhm.
So I really enjoy like FaceTiming, phone calls, like getting to know the person before I like actually meet them like in person. So it's kind of
And
like a stepping stone, like the app, texting, then like the FaceTime and the calling, and then meeting in person.
and do you initiate the FaceTime and the calling or no?
Sometimes.
Okay.
It's if a guy like does it first, like great. But
Yeah.
otherwise, usually I'll just be like, hey, do you want to like FaceTime or talk on the phone or whatever? Like if I'm on my way home from work, they'll be like, yeah, sure. And then we just like talk on the phone. Cause I think that too can show if a person is genuinely interested in like actually talking to you or just looking to hook up. Because obviously you're not going to spend
30 minutes, whatever,
30
on the
minutes,
commute. Yeah.
hours, however long on the phone with somebody that you just want to fuck. With
Mhm.
everyone. Sorry. I
There
can't
you
even-
go.
So
That's very powerful, Allison, and true. And like I said, and one thing I will keep saying and keep reiterating, and again, for my great friend Erica Larson out there, that it's right in front of you. It's there. You have to express the things, the interests. You will know if they like you or not. You will know if they give a damn or not. You will know if they don't like you or not. And that's the point. And that the best dating advice is being yourself. Because if somebody likes you for the most part, and we see this, especially with famous people who are batshit crazy and there are people who want to be with them, whether it is for a short-term hookup or you are together forever. If you really like somebody, you will tolerate almost anything with them. You will make sure you express ways to show you're interested, that you could grow this connection together. And again, reading through all those 8 years of whatever, for me personally, it was all came down to just being myself, and I'm a very unique person. And
The only
and
reason
how
I
it worked for
ask
me.
is only reason I ask is because I think the general consensus is that that's not happening, right? You know what I mean? Like, people are not picking up signals, whatever
And then
from whatever
honestly,
side.
my
Yeah.
response to that, Ryan, is you have to meet somebody who will pick up the signals. That, and I will hold myself accountable on that one.
Okay, so the reality is you just do what you're gonna do, and if they match and they get it right away, then that's a person that you can go with. But if they don't, then you can just move on. That's
Yeah,
kind of the vibe. It's
that's the
like,
common sense, and that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. It's not a game. It's not a game.
well, no, I know it's not a
They don't,
game,
I know
but
I'm saying, like, I have to do this, that, and the other. I will do this formula like the Powder Puff Girls, and then we're going to have our special relationship. No, it all comes down to being yourself. And I will say this for the rest of my life. In my dying breath, when I hope I have gray hairs and I'm wrinkly all over, and I look like my grandfather, that it all came down to me and your grandma, grandson, or great grandma. Hopefully, you're there. Please, heaven willing, that we're just ourselves. And look at I'm here in the year 2094.
so does everybody else
Productive
kind of have that?
Conversations 75th anniversary.
I don't know. When I said something, Jose was like, "What the heck?" So I'm kind of curious. Like,
Well, yeah, I'm curious too, because again, I feel like the consensus is that nobody picks up on anything. And I mean, Matt answered the question. Basically, if they don't pick up on it, don't worry about it, someone else will, which I think is a fair strategy. I don't know if it's the only one though. That's why I was kind of curious.
Well, I guess I can talk about a recent experience I had. There was someone I was interested in, and I had recently found out he was single, so I reached out.
Mhm.
Um, Very much point blank, I told him this was what I wanted. I was interested, and that I'm the type, if I knew that person personally, so it was a lot easier than a random online profile. But point blank, I asked him, like, hey, I would love to, go on a date with you since you're single. I liked you back then, and now that you're single, let's go on a date. And we had a very mature conversation, and he said that he was talking to somebody else. So I was like, all right, bet. That's fine. And I'm very much open to it. I'm always having that conversation, even like when I was on the apps, that dreaded question of, oh, what are you looking for on this? And I will just straight up say, listen, I'm trying to meet either a friend, a good friend, or a partner. I'm trying to go on dates and actually have meaningful conversations. They can unmatch me if they want. They can ghost me if they want. I don't give a fuck. But I am just upfront about it. And if they are looking for the same thing, they'll agree with me. And I think it does have to do a lot with how you were raised and the culture and the religion you grew up in. I was raised in a culture where we were dating to get married. My dad waited 7 years to get married to my mom, and they had to fight. Every person I know had to fight to be able to marry their partner, because there was always something. And that's what I grew up watching. So for me, I'm upfront. I'm like, listen, we got to be on the same page. It should be, I'm willing to fight for this relationship kind of situation. But also, I am from a very strict culture. So, you know,
I mean, I agree the culture thing in all cases is relevant. How you grew up is like what you saw is what you're going to do. Unfortunately for some people who maybe didn't see what they wanted to see, or fortunately for someone who did see what they genuinely feel is the best way. But 9 times out of 10, what you saw and what you experienced is what you're gonna do. So
Mhm.
I do agree with that. I do think there's something to that, for sure. And I think that's fair. Again, I think personally, open honesty is the most beneficial path forward in almost every dating situation because you're going to end up like you're gonna end up splitting. You just are. If you don't do it, then by the time you do it, I mean, you could get lucky. You could not talk about it, and then actually it all works out. But let's be honest, nobody's that lucky, right? So I feel like you
Except if
do
you're like
have to
Timothy
talk.
Chalamet.
Well,
Mhm.
but that's also
I'm
like we gotta
kidding.
be honest. That's
Yeah,
different
that's a
because
celebrity.
he's
Yeah, this is
yeah
their own other world.
yeah he's
They
Timothy
don't live the world
Chalamet.
they're
It's a
in.
whole different deal. I'm
Yeah,
talking about normal
I
people.
was just joshing there, but
No, I know,
the
yeah.
bottom line is just about the interest is showing that interest and being there. And you know, one thing I'm especially interested in, and you all should be interested in, is Magic Mind. You know, Magic Mind, since I was introduced to Magic Mind, right? Started the green tea shots, feeling better about
Hmm.
myself and being alert and all of that. Well, my life was improved for the better, extremely improved for the better. And then when I learned about the nootropics involved and the special matchas and ingredients and all of that, well, it was a formula to help me improve the life I'm living in. So thanks to the first productivity shot with Magic Mind, I'm more alert, I'm feeling better about myself, and life has been might not be an easier life because life's not easy, but it's definitely more manageable and it tastes good too. And my brain finally is on a mission when I take my productivity shot. And as well as the sleep aid shots when my brain needs to finally chill out, when everybody's going crazy, maybe a date didn't work out or whatever too. But I'm at least relaxed and I feel all right. And I thank Magic Mind, whether through the sleep aid shots or the productivity shots, things just make a lot more sense for this delicate brain and mind of mine. Isn't that for you for work for you too, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. I like Matt have done Magic Mind for a while now. Since they're sponsors, I'm still waiting on my I've messed up my own order, but that's okay. Sometimes it happens. But fun thing that I want to talk about, we talk about, of course, the matcha, the nootropics, the way that it activates your brain, what's naturally supposed to do. So it's not going to make you all foggy with a crash. It's genuinely just helping you retrain your brain to perform at the level it's always been meant to perform. And of course, let you sleep if you're having a hard time doing that. But now it's at the stores, folks. You can see this out in the grocery stores. There's the Safeways, right? The Balducci's. I went to six stores here in Virginia looking at the prices. And by the way, they were sold out. So this thing is flying off the shelf. But I looked at the prices and here's the thing, getting it in person it costs you more money. That which right now we got to be honest. There's a dollars and cents to this too. In addition to being an excellent product, you have to ask yourself, is the value, what's the value for my buck? By ordering online, by putting a subscription in, all that good stuff, you're getting a better deal. You're paying less than if constantly getting coffee, constantly getting a soda, constantly getting these other energy drinks that are going to end up giving you a crash afterward. So to me, it's a no-brainer. It's all natural. It actually works and it's a good price, it's a good deal, especially if you get it online, and especially if you get it online with our promo code because we've got a pretty good deal that Magic Mind has all, been great to let us give to all of you who are listening.
Exactly. And if you want to see the great things that me and Ryan are experiencing with Magic Mind and see for yourself, go to magicmind.com/PCJune for 48% of your first subscription or 20% off your first one-time purchase. That is magicmind.com/PCJune for 48% off your first subscription or 20% off your first one-time purchase. Check out the episode description below as well. So when it comes to dating, right? What can men and women do better when expressing disinterest? You know, the how do we end things? Do we say I'm not feeling it? Do we ghost? What can we all do better when it comes to expressing disinterest with respect and honesty?
Yeah, honesty. You literally said it in the question. You open
Here's
and honestly
my
say it.
thing that I've reflected that I used to do more back pre-pandemic, Matt, till now. I used to just say, and I have receipts saying, "Hey, I'm not coming to this place that we agreed to anymore. I changed my mind." And while that's, well, harsh,
Yeah, a little bit.
it does get the point
I
across.
changed my mind.
And I did that, if you want to say a pre-fuckboy day, fine. But post-pandemic, got my heart back or whatever, it was a little more longer text, if you will.
Yeah, I do think I've changed my mind. While honest is probably not the most tactful way to break that news to somebody. I think you can be honest and say, "Listen, I'm just not, just not feeling it, or we're just not connecting the way that I thought we would. I wish you the best of luck, all that stuff." I will say though, and this is something I
I
know
hate that.
from
But your
other
best.
people.
I'm not nothing against you. It is the right thing. Just
Yeah.
wishing you best of luck, like I'm going to a
I
new
hope all
job
goes well.
opportunity.
You can say stuff.
Yeah,
Hope
but
all goes well.
that's where I am. Like, man, I should say what I used to say.
But anyway, so what I'm saying though, and I know people who are like this, where they get into their own head pre-date. My opinion, unless they've like genuinely done something really, really crazy, like said something crazy over a message, if it's on a dating app in particular, you should meet them in person. If you swiped and you started talking and you got to the point where you made a plan, I think barring like a crazy circumstance in like your life where like my car broke down or something that you can't control, and obviously you can't control that, right? So that's just out of luck. Or they said something like massively offensive. But you know what I mean? Like if you were talking and it was going great and like out of left field, they started like dissing your religion or your ethnicity or your mother, I don't know, something crazy, then sure,
Jesus.
then no, I'm just saying, like, sure, at that point, even though you didn't meet in person, you could probably be like, listen, that was unhinged. I'm sorry, this is probably not going to work. But other than that, I think you should meet in person. I saw that. You should meet in person at least once if you get to that point before you send the message, I'm not interested. Because how do you know you're not interested if you got all the way to the point where you made a date and then you're like, oh, I'm not interested? No, you're interested. You're just nervous, or you're just scared, or you're
There
just
you go,
whatever.
Ryan. That's what happens. That's what you have to avoid. And definitely, shit, that's happened to me. I
I
might
know
have
it's happened
missed
to
out
you.
on a
Hey,
possible
so
person.
so 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 hold on. So Mr. Matt Brown. So those times where you message that girl you're not going, it was because you're scared.
Not because I scared I wasn't interested anymore.
Thank you. Good. So
Well,
get my
had
fucking
you met her already though?
Ryan's bullshit out
Yes.
the way.
If you met her, then that's fine. I'm not talking about if you meet her. If you meet someone, you're like,
It's
I'm not interested, then you're not
it's the
interested.
same. If I'm not interested in meeting you, it's because I'm not interested in meeting the first time. That's it.
But if you
I'm
made,
not
hold
scared.
on, I'm saying if you made a plan to go on a date, then you should do it. You should. If you got to the point where you felt like this could be a connection, like with this person, then you should try the connection. Now, again, if something really bad, if they say something that scares you, like you get like the ick of all icks, you think that you could end up like in this person's trunk.
Or they're
Obviously,
racist or something crazy.
right. Obviously, don't be like, well, I made a promise I would go on this date. Like,
I
no,
still
obviously,
apologize.
you just said that's when you say, like, hey, listen, I would even say, like, they said something unhinged, be like, listen, that was unhinged, and like, that doesn't work for me. So, like, good luck out there and be done with it.
So I'm not.
But if you're
I'm not.
interested and you made a plan, and then all of a sudden you get closer, like, oh, I don't know anymore. They got quieter, or now the one word. No, don't you. That's getting in your head. Don't get in your head. Just do it.
Jesus
There was
Christ.
something that made you interested. There was something that made them interested. Don't start looking. Now you're reading tea leaves to see if you should really do the date. You should because you were interested. It's that simple.
What the fuck, Ryan?
It's that simple. If you're
So
interested, go on the date. Like,
okay.
if you're interested enough to make a date, then go on a date.
Scared is not one of them. If a guy's interested on a date, he's not scared if he doesn't show up.
Scared of getting stood up or something is what I'm referring to.
How would he know? How would you know he gets Ryan? No, it's just, they're
Yes,
not scared.
they are.
It's
There's plenty
just
of guys. You have this conversation. You go
Bad Ryan
on.
bad.
No, you
huh?
like. What happened?
No,
Ryan?
the way you're talking to him, it's like bad Ryan bad.
No, but
It's
no,
like
no, but in all
Ryan's like
seriousness, you got this conversation, right? You've met somebody, you're talking for like, let's say you respond in the appropriate time, everybody's happy, and you've started a conversation, and you're hitting it off, and you say, "Hey, let's go, whatever." Insert date idea here, and they're like, "Yeah, sounds good. I'll see you on Saturday," and this is a Monday,
Like he's
right?
talking about like
Yeah,
you set up a date on Friday
for like the next
on Monday,
Friday.
but you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
talking at all throughout it. Like,
right.
what's the
So.
point going on? They probably lost interest already. So let me cut the
okay.
bait.
But I disagree. I think if you were having such a good conversation over the weekend that on Monday you made a date for Friday, just because now you got the one word messages or oh sorry I was busy like today, that's when people get in their head like oh they're just messing with me, they don't care anymore. If they were interested in you enough to make the date on Monday, then you
So
should be
wait,
intending to
wait.
keep the date.
So wait a second. I make the date on Monday,
Yeah,
and I start to peel off by Friday.
yeah. Don't do that.
Oh, then don't go on the date. I do that all the time.
No, don't do that. That's what I'm saying. Don't do that. I'm saying that's
Oh,
wrong.
I do that all the
Yeah,
time.
go on the date. Now, again, if you're worried because they're like one word answers, and then suddenly Thursday night, oh, I can't do it, rain check. All right, you got the one word
There's
answers.
a
Now
good chance
they're
they don't
right.
like you no
Yeah,
more.
now they're canceling on you. You'd be like, all right, dude, whatever. Like, we'll
All
figure
right,
out something
dude.
else. And then
Homie,
you just let it go. You just let them go.
if I made a date on Monday and this conversation died off by Friday, then this she wasn't interested.
That's true too.
I
Period.
guess, but
It's not scared. You're not. If you're
right.
interested in a person,
I
you're
got it. I touched
scared.
a nerve. No one is scared. Everyone is brave and strong. No one is scared. But
Ryan, nobody's Hopi. Listen, all honesty, if I made the date on Monday,
yes.
I'm continuing this conversation. If they are not sure and they want to back out and they don't want to hurt your feelings,
Mm.
they're not scared. They're just not interested. They realize at the end of the day, when it's time to go, when it's time to shoot your shot, they don't want to shoot their shot. They don't want to waste their time because they don't value as a way for them to shoot your shot. You're not worth the shot. So for them, they're backing off. It's
What
not scared.
so what does the rest of the group here think? We obviously don't want to spend too much time on this one, but anyone have a counterpoint to myself and or Jose?
No, again, it's just a lot of my things now that I've realized at this age of my life is that
Allison, have you ever
if you
backed
like
out
or
on a
care,
date?
that you'll do.
Allison, have you ever backed out on a date?
No.
You went all your dates, right?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Right. So there you go. Go on your dates.
I
Allison
don't
approves.
because I also am the type of person like I don't know. I have horrible FOMO and I also am a horrible people pleaser. So I'm always worried if I ever cancel or do something, I'm gonna either break
Yeah, but
bonds.
You make it
conversation.
sound so fun, Allison. I've got a crippling FOMO and I'm a people pleaser, which is why I always keep my commitments.
I always keep my commitments. It's like really rare. Like I have to be literally so ill. Like, oh, okay, I lied. I did cancel a date this last
Ooh.
month because I had severe sun poisoning from the Hamptons. I fell
Okay, well,
asleep
that's
on the
different.
beach for like 6-7 hours and I didn't drink any water. So yeah, that was the only reason I canceled. And then that whole situation fizzled out and that was bad. But yeah,
My dad fell
That was
asleep on
like
the
like
beach.
I've
awful.
never ghosted. I've never done anything like that. I've
I
never
hate ghosting. You shouldn't ghost if you can help it.
never like canceled a date unless like obviously I'm like profusely throwing up from the
I
sun.
should say this because I've heard actually like some friends of mine, like some friends of mine who are women will say like they don't like to ghost, right? And so like they'll be like, "Hey, listen, it's not gonna work," right? And then the person will keep trying, right? At
Oh
some
my
point,
God.
at some
I
point,
know
I have
someone else.
trauma.
I was genuinely not even referring to Allison, but yes, you did show
No,
me that
this
message
happened
too.
recently. I went
Yeah,
on a date
I
with a
was not.
22-year-old.
What do you mean you
girl.
don't like me?
Yeah, again, I was
Yeah,
not
like,
even referring to
once
that.
you get
but
over your
it
situation,
works.
can we go out or can we wait? And
Anyway,
that's so
so my
bizarre
point is,
that I
Felt like
somewhat
so
admire
bad.
it.
if you talk in good faith, if you tell them in good faith, listen, I'm just not there. It's not going to work. I'm not
This man did
interested. I'm
not
not
care.
attracted to you. Whatever you say, and I don't believe it's inappropriate. This is my hot take. You can say to someone, listen, I'm just not physically attracted to you, and I like that'll hurt people's feelings. I do get that, but you're being honest. And you don't say it like, "Oh, you're ugly" or anything like that. Like that's not
I
true.
don't like you because you're
Yeah,
ugly.
no, because that's
Man.
not true.
That's
For somebody else,
horrible.
no, because for somebody else, you might be like literally like the most amazing, beautiful person in the world. Like that's how it works. Oh, Jose, don't roll your eyes. Anyway, my point is that if you've done the right thing and you said I'm not interested, and they just won't stop,
Bruh.
ghost.
I
And I'm saying
mean,
that as someone who doesn't like ghosting. Like you do not owe them all of your time after you've expressed you're not interested. Maybe if you're a nice person, you'll say it one more time when they're like, "Oh, well, what about when your thing is done?" Be like, "Listen, dude, it's not about that. It's not, you and me are not a thing. It doesn't click. I'm sorry." And if they keep going after that, that's when you just ignore them. That's when the ghost comes
I
out.
mean,
And they're gonna
I
listen, and
guess
they're
I
gonna tell their
technically did
friends.
ghost then. But
Well,
like because
after
I
though, yeah.
repeated myself like
yeah, you could
Yeah,
only say so
after,
multiple
right.
much.
times.
And I'm
So
saying
the
that don't
last
feel bad
thing
about
that
that.
so I actually have it pulled up. The last thing that was said was I said, I do like you as a person, but not as a romantic partner. Like I've
Mm.
stated prior, I think we're in different places in life. Yes, the situationship I just broke out of still lingers on me mentally and emotionally. I just need to move on from that before I jump into anything else. I think it saves you time, effort, and potential hurt in the long run. He replies, "Oh, okay. So when you get over your situationship, you still don't want to go out on dates because we are in different places in life. And like you have a job and I'm still a student and work full time too, though."
Hey, man, there is
Yeah.
a lady we all know who shines the
Poor
white
man.
light and wants to show, but if you listen very hard, the tune will come to you at last. So y'all should know about that.
You might be listening to this right now, but that's okay.
It's good. Welcome. Come on the show.
I just said some Led Zeppelin lyrics. So, you get to the point where things are starting to work out. The next question I have, what can men and do what can men and women do better when we're talking about the future stuff and we're expressing expectations? What can men and women do better when it comes to expressing their expectations in a relationship?
Have a real adult conversation.
A real adult conversation, and you actually mean it, and you're ready to commit. You're
You don't
ready.
have to be.
You are ready that you don't even care if the most beautiful girl in the world is twerking in front of you, or if the most beautiful guy is showing his rock hard washboard abs and doing magic mind dances in front of you for the females. That you are ready, that this is it.
So actually, I'm probably gonna end up, and I hate when this happens on Jose's side, at least partially here. I don't know that you have to be locked in like Matt just described when you have the adult conversation. Like again,
The
from
what
my
are
own,
we conversation? What do we expect?
yeah, like so obviously I didn't have a what are we conversation, but we did about a couple years in, which I know is a couple years in, but we did have graduate, right? So we had to decide what was happening with that. And there was not a guarantee of anything. Like I did not have a job lined up. She was still looking at schools to get their next degree there, and we had ideas, but we didn't have a plan. And so we had to have that version of the what are we conversation because it's one thing to date throughout college, it's another thing to move in with somebody, right? Like for real or anything like that and move states with for somebody, etc. And so we did have to have that conversation. And when we had that conversation, and I mean, my wife and I talk about this. My wife says that she was like a year in when she was like, "Yeah, I'll marry him." I was not there a year in. It wasn't until, frankly, after those conversations when I made my decision that I was like, you know what? I think this is what I want to do, and that's like crazy scary to me. But I think that means I'm probably in this for the long haul. And so I did, I did end up moving in with her. We both moved to a different state, the whole nine yards. But like it is important to have that adult conversation, but both people do not need to be in the same place during said conversation. What they do need is to be respectful of where the other person is during that conversation. So if someone is like, I am committed to you fully, the whole magic mind thing or whatever that Matt was talking about, if someone's there, that's fine. If the other person is not, like you can't be like, well, you got to get to where I am. That doesn't work. You cannot force a person along. You have to just talk about what you expect, about what you think, what you feel, and then it'll become clear what the path
Heck,
forward is.
heck, no, you like them
And it
too.
might be a bad path, by the way. You might not stay together. Like there was a world where I was not willing to move, or I had a job opportunity I needed to take, and then who knows where I would be right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like people are separate. People are their own individuals. They have to be given the grace to act as individuals. But you got to be open and honest about it because if one person just bites their tongue for the sake of the relationship, 10 years down the road, look out. That's going to be a problem.
I like that, Ryan. I like that. And also, let me ask you, when it comes to sex and intimacy, right? What can men and women do better when it comes to sex and intimacy? Specifically, um, when it's time to get vulnerable, what can both sides do to improve the sex? Is there enough communication or is it just winging it?
I don't think it's winging it, but I want someone else to go.
Again, you just consent
Uh,
first, and
well,
then
yeah, no, consent,
you
yes.
go to Pound
Can't
Town
dispute
after
that.
that. And for
There
most, at
has to
least the
be
beginning, or
communication. You can't just go in on it
no,
because
of course not. I'm not saying yes, yes, then go, but you just say what you like. You say what makes the most fun. You decide there about your contraceptions and not if you want to risk it, or if somebody wants to claim they have a pull-out game or whatever. Again, the communication is key to add to that passion. The passion is what makes it fun, and usually makes people want to stay with each other at least longer. Passion.
I think one of the best things anyone can do is, in terms of communication, say what you like, you don't like, build that comfort. And I think that makes the best experience for both parties. Um, have a conversation. What do you like? What do you not like? If you're not comfortable with someone or comfortable saying what you want to be done, then that's not the person you should be hooking up with. Because I feel like if you're not comfortable, is there really consent?
I mean, I would assume there's probably verbal consent, which I know obviously doesn't necessarily mean it's full-throated and all that, but yeah, I do think that being open and honest in what you like is kind of a prerequisite for both, a relationship and also just having a fun time. Um, I do get there's probably some, for one thing, there's probably some fears of like if they've got a specific thing they're into, that can be really hard to bring up, especially early on. I think that that's fair. Um, there are also maybe, depending on skill level is the wrong word. Experience level, that's the right word. Depending on experience
Skill
level,
level.
not skill level. That's the skill is
I'm
a
just saying
weird
that's
thing
a
to say.
funny
I
thing.
disagree with that. That was me misspeaking. But experience is a real thing. People who have had more intimate moments are far more comfortable in intimate moments. Where somebody who's had less intimate moments will still probably be pretty nervous when they get intimate, especially with the new partner. So I do think that there needs to be like everybody involved needs to kind of have that. Again, grace is the word that keeps coming to mind when you're in that situation where you're like, listen, I get it. Like, don't say that. That's like babying, and that'll be really, really bad. Please don't say it. But in your head, be like, okay. Especially if you know them pretty well, be like, okay, this is probably a lot for them. I just got to be like open about what I like, what I don't like, and really kind of guide through. Whereas if somebody is obviously quite experienced, they might just naturally do what you like or get close, and you could be like, just little minor tweaks. So I don't know. That's kind of my thought on that. It really, yeah, it's communication, but it's also having the wherewithal to know that early on is probably not going to be perfect. you're gonna have to teach people what they like. Because even if you've done a million
Well,
different things,
sometimes you can have really great sex with somebody you really like right away too.
well, yeah, and I don't disagree with that. I think the difference is that even if it's really great, that doesn't necessarily mean it's what you're used to. And so you could learn something new, be like, oh, wow, yeah, I actually really like that. But I'm saying that by and large, no one's going to walk into a situation and know exactly what you like. They've never met, I mean, they've met you, but they've never done this with you before. So, like, how they did it with the last person is not necessarily the same way that you would like it to be done. Or how they do it with the last person, you might like better. And now you like it a new way. Congratulations. But you got to, like, be aware that when you walk into the situation, it might not be like, you know, magical. You might need to be like, all right, well, that was okay, or that was even good, but it'd be better if it was like this. And if, especially if you end up dating this person, if you're just hooking up, you could just, chalk it up to a bad night and move on. But if you want to date this person, it's kind of important to like mention that.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Like I said,
Very, very interesting.
what do you have to say, Rivera? I mean, Mr. Rivera?
I love how, no offense, Ryan, you gave me that advice, and that's everything you just said. Kind of
What part
blown.
of it was bad?
All of it. The fuck?
What do you mean with that was not an answer. That was just you saying it was
Ryan,
bad, which it
if
might
you,
be, but you've not given an answer.
I'm not gonna sit there. Do I have your consent? Like,
Whoa.
I'm not gonna
Obviously,
ask that.
I mean, you
I
do
feel
need to
like
be
it just
pretty aware
again,
that
everything comes naturally. If I'm gonna have a girl wants to come over, I'd be like, hey, you want to come over? Come over. One thing leads to another. Obviously, I'm gonna let her dictate the tone. Period. And then if it goes that way, it goes that way. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I keep it moving. Like I
you've
kind of let the
never
woman.
you've never had the
I'm letting. If I'm bringing a girl in my house, I will ask her, does she want to come over? Do you want to continue? Like, want to chill? Want to have a nightcap? Whatever. And whatever happens after
Mhm.
that, I am letting her dictate it where it goes.
Which is fine. I
I'm,
don't what's wrong, what's the
but I'm
opposite of what
not.
I
I'm
said to
not.
that?
I'm not converse. But I'm not. You making this whole fucking like big thing. Like, oh my god, it
No,
just naturally goes,
you don't
kiddo.
sit down on the couch and be like, "Listen, I'd like to do this. We should discuss
I would like.
terms and conditions." I'm
Yes.
not saying that, but I mean, honestly though, like you've never been with somebody where you would say like, "Do you like this?" You've never once asked for feedback while you're like making out with somebody, while you're feeling someone up, while you're while you're going through the progression of intimacy. You've never once thought to inquire if they like what you're doing. Like again, I'm not saying like, do I have your consent? Yes or no, but like, do you like this? Do
No
you
offense,
like
Ryan.
that?
All right, no offense, Ryan. I'm not as
You've never
no,
once like that's crazy to me.
no.
How do you know that you're even doing it right then?
Girl, trust me, when you have a bunch of girls in bed with you, they've done a bunch of
No,
girls.
but I'm
They have
saying
not,
like
but they have not. Trust
individual.
me, when it comes into let's get two things. When a girl is gonna let me, is she gonna be vulnerable with and let me be there while she's being vulnerable? Trust me, she ain't gonna have a problem telling me what she wants. I don't go.
Well,
I'm
right,
not
and
gonna.
that's fine if she tells you, then that's
But
all good.
that's just, and sometimes you don't even have to say. You can just tell by the body language and what she wants.
Sure, I guess, but
You
it
mean
doesn't
it's not
hurt to.
I'm no, I'm not gonna
But at
sit there
one
like a
point in
god.
time, no, you don't have to sit there. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna go over there while I'm doing it. Do you want it this way, baby? Oh, do you want me to? No, what the
Not
fuck?
every no, but like
You
Trust
don't
do
gotta
me.
make it
do
sound
you
like
like this is
girls
When
not a
when a
weird
girl
thing to say
I
during
have
the act.
ever ever it's
You
just
don't talk at
naturally
all.
a
You say
girl will tell
nothing.
me. Listen, a girl will tell me what she wants. If a girl don't want me to go down on her, trust me. In 2 seconds, she's gonna lift my chin up, and we're gonna keep it moving before I even get down there.
Which is
Two,
fine. I'm not
if she does
disagreeing
want,
with that.
if she does want me to give her head, trust me, she's gonna point her head down. There's not one time I gotta go to a girl. It's like, how do you want it? So I can write a goddamn playbook.
You don't have to write a playbook. Like
Jesus
you're
Christ.
taking what I think is frankly a very innocuous viewpoint and spinning it into like a super weird thing. Again, I'm not saying you have to have a debrief and a pre-plan and anything like that. I'm saying like in the course of in the course you're vibing, it's heading in that direction. As you start doing what you're naturally doing, you've never once said anything along the lines of like, do you like that? Or is this good? You've never once
It's
even
okay.
asked
It's
that.
just
It's
whatever.
not even just okay. Like, yeah, because I get, some guys will be like, what do you mean is this okay? You're telling me it's not like, which again, you shouldn't be that way. But I'm saying, is this good? It isn't even just like, am I allowed? It's in addition to, are you okay with this happening? It's, does it feel good? Like it's two birds. Like A, you're confirming that this what you're doing is both obviously okay, but also feels good, which if they are down for you to be doing something with them, you should also want it to feel good. You should also want them to enjoy it. So asking them if this is something that they enjoy is not weird. I think it's pretty normal. And again, people talk and make noises and whatever all the time. So why wouldn't you just throw that in there for, everyone when you're
Ryan, when
changing
it comes
to something
right
else? Like that's what I'm
when it
saying. It
when it
doesn't make
comes to
sense.
when it comes to normal, just plain Ryan sex missionary type shit, a girl's gonna tell me when I'm not doing it right or whatever. I don't have to ask them. They'll
Yeah,
just
if
tell
someone
me.
is okay, so
I
if you are
get it.
doing
I get it.
something, hold on, hold on,
I
hold on. You've
hold
said
on. Let me
plenty.
finish.
You've said
Let me
plenty.
finish. No, trust me. You said plenty.
You've said
Let's
plenty.
get this right. If a girl like if it comes to like anal sex or some shit or whatever,
Sure.
that's one thing. But when it comes to Ryan, plain old Ryan missionary shit,
All right. Well, hold on. So first of all, let's
we're
just
going on that. I totally get
again,
that.
I'm not saying that someone can't just naturally tell you I like this, I don't like that, I'm not into that. Of course they can. It happens all the time. And that's good. You listen to that feedback and you act accordingly. That's how you should do it. But I'm saying that there's no reason during the process. Again, I'm not saying every, like I don't want to be graphic here. So it's like I'm not saying every, whatever you have to re-ask, does that feel good? That's crazy. That makes you seem like a psychopath. I'm saying like as you go through the general like motions of hooking up with somebody, find out if the thing you're trying to do is something that they like by asking, is this good or do you like this? And if they say yes, then you do it. And that's awesome. If they don't say yes, and I'm not saying they'll say no, thank you. Like, I mean, they might, which is, I'll be honest, weird. But if you ask and they don't like it, what they'll usually do is something that they want you to do. They'll move you in the direction they want you to be moved in or whatever. And you'll be like, all right, cool, we're doing this right now. Perfect. So I don't like it's not weird to if you're going to be talking and whatever dirty talk, whatever you're into, I don't know, but if you're going to be talking and making noise and whatnot anyway, you might as well get to a point where you know that what you're doing is being enjoyed by your partner because that's the whole point of what you're doing is for you and them to have fun. If it's not fun, then why are you even doing it? I mean, you
Ryan,
know what I mean? Like, if it's not fun, then don't do it. Genuinely, if it's
Ryan,
not fun, don't do it.
you ever thought about you're missing the key point?
I don't think I am.
Every girl's different,
Yes,
right? Some girl likes to pleasure their man, and that's what gets them off.
sure,
Some girls are assertive. Some girls are
sure.
passive aggressive.
Yeah,
My job when I'm foreplaying is to figure that out. Is
yes.
she so when I do that, but I don't have to ask that. It's by I go off their body language.
Okay,
I'm
well,
going
I
off
think
what
you
they
can
come to
also just
me.
ask, and it's
I
just
get
as easy, if not
yeah,
easier.
I'm not gonna sit there. If it's just going with the flow, it's going. I'm not gonna stop it if it's going down there.
You don't have to
I
stop it either.
should I know I'm gonna stop. Hey, are you enjoying this? Is this too much for you? Stop.
no,
Trust me.
that's
When it
not.
gets to
All
a
right.
point,
Well,
if
what
it's
if it
going
is
to
too much for her though, and she can't
trust me,
express that?
Allison, no offense, Allison, when you go with a guy and that's too much, you're gonna say something, yes or no?
I'll be honest, there have been situations where like women do freeze. It's a flight or flight response.
Cool, because you want to please that dude too, yes or no?
I mean, I don't want him to be like mad at me, so I have
But it's not about
tried to
it's
not.
listen, guy's about to get it in. If you're not feeling it, why would a guy get mad? We're gonna just stop.
What do you mean? Why would a guy get mad? You've known
Why
guys.
I
I
if a
don't
know
girl
want to.
guys.
Jose,
if a girl
I have
if
been
a
in
girl if I
situations, Jose, I have been in a situation literally where I'm making out with a guy and it's fine, and I don't want it to progress any further, but he's so hot and heavy, he
oh
wants to
that's
keep
different.
going,
That's
and then
that's
it's
different.
escalating, and I say, hey, no, and then he keeps going. That's
That's different.
one
That's
that's
different.
fucking rank,
How is
too.
that
That's where
different though?
that's I just said if it was progressing to that way and you like kissing wanted he was going too rough, you're not gonna be like I'm not gonna say that. It's different when you don't want to go that far and he's just doing like he's being a douchebag. That's a totally different. That's only he gives two fucks about himself. When I'm trying to have sex with you, I'm not having sex with you because I'm thinking of you. I want to pleasure you, and I'm still getting trying to get off at the same time. Obviously, he was only thinking about himself at that moment. It's different. When I'm girl tells
Okay.
me if she wants to stop, it stops. Girl wants
Yeah,
it this
I
way, it
think
goes.
I genuinely think we're not actually saying something different. We're just you're saying that should just intuitively know, and I do agree that there are times where just through the course of what you're doing, you'll know what they like, what they don't like. Like obviously, I'm not saying that you always need, but I'm saying especially if it's a new relationship, like a new person, it doesn't hurt to get a little bit of, guidance into what is going to be the most effective way to give everybody a good time. Like I really don't see the difference between checking their body language to do it or literally saying you like that or is this good or like something to that effect. I really don't see that there being much difference between those 2 points. Like it's semantic difference. You're saying you should be able to do it without speaking, and I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying speaking is obviously the clearer way to be. So especially when you're with a new partner, it's really not, in my opinion, a big deal to do that. Yeah, once you've been together for 13 years, obviously it's a little different. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, very specifically, I'm talking about when it's a new person. Like, what can you do when you're just for that first time
Listen,
getting intimate?
okay, I get it. I totally understand if your experience level or your skill level is not
I
at the
guess.
par it should be. I get it. It's one way when your number is like 2 or 3. Sure. When you're in the 60s or 70s, it could be like this is like a fucking Tuesday
But
to you.
everybody is
Keeping moving.
different, correct?
I just literally just said that. If your experience is different,
No, I'm talking
maybe it's
about
different.
women. I'm not talking about you. Every woman is different,
You
correct?
well, when you have the experience, you'll
To the
know.
ladies in the chat here, would you say that most girls and women are different in what they like and what they don't like?
That's everybody.
I know it's everybody, so I'm saying it's never a bad idea, no matter how much experience you've got, to learn a little bit your first time going in. It's never a bad idea to be
Yeah.
verbal
Your
and talking
first
during
time
the
going
first
in.
time.
Jesus. My first time going in.
With a new person, I mean, obviously, I don't mean
Wow.
overall. I mean overall too, by the way, but
I have
I
to
meant with a new
say,
person.
I'm learning a lot. That will wrap up all our segments for tonight. But is there anything else that anybody wants to say on what men and women can do better in dating? And if that person is me, then all I have to say is
Very well said, Matt.
Very well.
no, everything is, there really is, in my opinion, if you want, because not everybody wants companionship in this world, whether you're straight, whether you're gay, bi, pan, or the various other orientations in this world, and whether you're a man, a woman, transgender, gender fluid, or the other various genders in this world, I really believe with my whole heart in this world, and I will make sure I pay attention for the rest of my life, in fiction or nonfiction, that if you truly are yourself and you truly want that special person, and even if, or multiple people, if you're into polygamy and stuff, right? Again, some things I understand, some things I don't. Well, one thing I do understand, this is will pan out for you if you truly want it. Just be yourself. And sure, and it's not fair, and sure, and I agree, it's not fair. And some people may find people at various parts in their life, but if you truly want it, and you don't give up on it, it will pan out for you. I promise you that. And I will debate anybody who thinks otherwise. Just don't give up on love. And with that, we'll see you on Friday with another tweet cap. Then a vacation from the tweet cap next week, just 2 sports shows, NBA check in, and then a reaction to the Major League Baseball trade deadline for Tuesday and Friday, respectfully. And yeah, I hope you learned something like I did tonight. We'll see you soon. Thank you again, Rena. Great job on your debut. Great job, Jose Ryan and Allison, as always.
Thanks, Matt.
And again, just be yourself and you enjoy the idea of having somebody have your back and like you for you. It's gonna happen. See you soon.